Joining us now on Can iMedia is Larry Persily. And Larry, you're here at the conference from Alaska.
I am. There's a federal office. Congress created us in 2004. It's the Federal Office for Alaska Gas Line Projects. The notion being that the project is so big, if a natural gas pipeline is ever built to take North Slope natural gas to market from Alaska, that the Congress wanted an office whose sole job it is to basically make sure the federal government doesn't do anything that will make a difficult project any more difficult than it needs to be, to kind of coordinate federal permitting agencies and try to make the process move as smoothly as possible for a project of this size.
So would you be sort of a conduit then between business and the government to make sure that everything between the two works?
I guess to represent both, to help the private developers understand what government is doing, to be a voice with federal agencies to make sure we're all working together on a regulatory, on a permitting front, and then also at times to explain to the companies that are developing the project, if they go ahead with it, this is what's required, this is what we're trying to do.
When you say,
but we're not regulators, we just try to coordinate everyone who is.
Okay, when you say North Slope, we're just talking about a portion of Alaska here, aren't we?
Right, well that's the portion where all the oil and gas is.
Okay.
You know, around Prudhoe Bay, in that area where they discovered a lot of oil and gas in 1968. The oil pipeline was built, oil's been moving off the North Slope since 1977. The natural gas is still there, it's being re-injected every day. Hopefully someday we'll see a pipeline to move natural gas to market too.
Right. What sort of regulations? I mean, it seems as though the industry is trying to clean up its image a little bit from what it had been like in the past. What is government's role when it comes to something like that?
Well, you're going to have air quality permits, you're certainly going to have wetlands permits, dredging if you need to dredge a shipping channel to bring barges in with equipment, right away to lay the pipe. There's a lot of permits, a lot of environmental issues involved in building 800 miles of pipeline and a liquefaction plant, if that's the way they go, a gas treatment plant to take out the carbon dioxide. So there are a lot of rules and there are a lot of permits. You need a Federal Energy Regulatory Commission certificate. No shortage there.
When you look at these situations surrounding the Arctic right now, there's 5 countries that are vying for their slice of the pie up there. Is this something that you might be looking at down the road as well, or is that out of your area?
Our sole purpose is to assist with development of a North Slope natural gas pipeline.
So only in Alaska,
if you start looking offshore, we are not involved in production or monitoring the production, as you're talking about going offshore into the Arctic. That's outside of our purview.
Right. Where do you see things going in the future? Do you see a natural gas pipeline? Do you see it being a big industry up there?
Well, certainly hopeful. Alaska, just like British Columbia, just like the lower 48 around the U.S. Gulf Coast, everybody wants to build an LNG project to ship natural gas from North America to the Asian market. Whether Alaska gets in there, whether British Columbia is...
Actually, Alberta actually, and sending it through BC.
It's going to be very competitive for those projects, and they're not all going to get built. But again, that's not my problem. That's going to be commercial terms, the risk, that's up to the project developers. If they go ahead with it, we can help them work through federal agencies.
When you look ahead, do you see that as being something that will inevitably happen then?
I have learned that nothing is inevitable in oil and gas.
Fair enough, Larry. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.